Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. So today we are going to discuss all the arithmetic operators, logical operators, relational operators, and other operators, and how does it work. And now we can check it by applying on quarters. So first of all, we are going to discuss arithmetic operators. What are arithmetic operators? Multiplication, division, subtraction, division, and mod. These are all are arithmetic operations. So how can we perform in quarters? So you can see this is our code by which we can conclude all the possibilities. So first of all, we have to declare all the inputs and outputs in module, and then we have to declare the size of input and output. Here I give the size to input 4 bit and the output 8 bit. So after it we are assigning different conditions for our arithmetic operations. So first of all, in first operation, if a cross b, then our value will becomes 8 bit of 00100100. If a divisible by b, then our arithmetic operations division will perform and evaluates to 4. If a plus b means 12 plus 3, then it becomes 15. If a minus b, then it becomes 9. And if a plus b, a plus 1 complement b1 modulus b, here it means we have b number with 1 bit. So this 1 dash demonstrate us number of bits, and it evaluates to 1. So after running it and after compiling it, we are going to check its RTL view. So this is our RTL view of all the our operations, arithmetic operations, which we perform in quarters 15, and this is our output waveform. So this output waveform tells us if A is 1100 and B is 0011 and C is 001010, then our all the outputs will become in 8 bits. So first of all, you can see if A is 1100 and B is 0011, means if A is 12 and B is 3, then C, which is addition operation, performs and will becomes 15. And if division operation performs, it will become 4. If addition operation perform, it will become 15, because 12 plus 3 is equal to 15. And this is our 8-bit code of binary code of 15. And if subtraction is performed, then it will becomes 9. So this is our code of binary code of 9. And the last operation which we see in our quarters program, which is this G, a plus 1 bit of b modulus of b, and it evaluates to 1. So this is our code of binary code of 8-bit binary code of 1. So now we are going to discuss our logical operators. What are logical operators? You can see here we have two and symbols and two vertical slashes, and then symbol of factorial. So these are all our logical operators. The logical operators are logical and logical or and logical not. All logical operators evaluate to either true, false, or unknown. Here we demonstrate unknown by variable x. An operand is true if it is non-zero and false if it is 0. An unknown or high impedance value evaluates as false. An operand can become a variable or an expression which evaluates to either true or false as defined. So after reading all of it and after seeing our exercise which we have to prove in lab 5, then we made a code for this logical operator. Now you can see this is our basic code of performing all our exercises in quarters. So you can see here first of all we have to declare all the inputs and outputs, and in first case we have to give the size of input, and in second state we have to give the size of output. First of all, we have to give the size to input 1. We have to give input 1 8-bit size and all other inputs 4-bit size, and then output 4-bit size. So after assigning all the conditions, then we end the module. So you can see if factorial a operation perform, then it is logical not or evaluates to 0. If C double AND operation B performs, then it will logical and it evaluates to 0. If X double vertical slashes Y ratio perform, which we can see OR and denoted by OR, so logical or evaluate to 1, because this is our OR operation and this is our AND operation. You can see this is our OR operation, this is our AND operation, and this is our known as factorial, which is equal to some values. So now you can see this is our software. After running and after compiling it, we can see its RTL view. So this is its RTL view. Here all the operations of logical performed, and you can see all the wirings. So for wiring, in some other cases, for wiring, you can see in other in lab 6 where we use all the codes for wire, for which wiring control the all the inputs and outputs. So now we have to move towards output waveform. So this is our output waveform. It tells us if A is equal to 8 bits size of 67, then its factorial will represents in case of C, which is equal to, you can see here, if A factorial operates, then which is equal to D, value of D. So we have to put here A67 because we are given in our exercise A67. Then the value of D will becomes 0, 0, 0. Then the value of D will 0. So now if we perform our second operation, which is C double AND cross B, then it will be logical and evaluates to 0. Then E will become 0. So now you can see in our output, then E will become 0. And if third operation, which is X double or Y, which operates to logical or evaluate to 1. So now you can see in our output waveform, it will become 1. So now here the value of F is 4-bit 1, means 0001. So this is all our logical operators performed. So now we are going to move towards relational operators. So these are our key symbols for our relation operators: greater than, less than, greater than, equal to, less than, equal to. So now here we can read the relation operators are less than, more than, less than or equal to, and more than or equal to. The true and false values are defined in the same way as above in the logical operator. In this case, if any operand is unknown, the whole expression evaluates to unknown. Now we have to perform all the exercises which are given in lab 5. So first of all, we have to write the code in Quartus. Now you can see this is our basic code. We write in Quartus, and after performing it, we take it a screenshot. So first of all, we have to do all the basic conditions and basic pattern here where we can prove all our inputs and outputs. So first of all, we have to declare all our inputs and outputs in module, and then we have to give the size to our input and output. First of all, we here give the size to input, which is 4-bit, and then give the size to output, which is also 4-bit. After declaring all our inputs and outputs, here we assign all the operations: greater than, less than, greater than, equal to, less than, equal to. So if here we can see if A is less than B, then if it function evaluates to true, which means 1. If A is greater than B, then function evaluates to false, which means true, 0. If A is greater than or equal to C, then it evaluates to 1. If A is greater than or equal to D, then it will becomes evaluates to unknown, which is our X variable. So now this is our RTL view of our basic code. Here we can see less than 0, less than 1, less than 2, less than 3. All our operations are performed correctly in RTL view. So now we are moving towards our output waveform. So now you can see if in this code, if A is less than B, then function evaluates to 1. If A is greater than B, then function evaluates to 0. So now you can see if A is greater than B, then function evaluates to 0. It means our function evaluates to 0. Our function f evaluates to 0. If A is greater than B, then our function which evaluates to 1, which is E. So now by equating q and h, the function our evaluates to 1, and if a is greater than and equal to d, you can see now here, if a, which is 0 0 1 0, is equal to and greater than d, which is d is unknown, so we didn't know the value of d. So here by condition we can see if a is greater than or equal to d, then our function which is g will performs to 1, and our function h will performs to unknown, because our last value will be unknown in every case until and unless our d is unknown. So now we are moving toward our equality function. Now you can see these are all our key symbols for equality. So the equality operators, you can see double equal, factorial equal, we can see these three equals, and factorial then double equal. So these are our symbols are logical inequality, case equality, and case inequality. You can see by writing and by practicing it. The equality operators are logical inequality, case equality, and case inequality. These operators compare to the operands bit by corresponding bit for quality. The logical operators will return unknown if significant bits are unknown or high impedance. High impedance means x and z. So these variables represents our high impedance. The case operators look for equality also with respect to bits which are unknown for high impedance. If one operand is shorter than other, it expanded with 0 second unless the most significant bit is unknown. So after combining all of our equalities, we have to perform our all exercises. So for our exercise, here we perform our Quartus chord. Now you can see here, first of all, as it is in other cases, we have to declare all the inputs and outputs in our module, and after declaring inputs and outputs, we have to give size to our input and we have to give to size our output. So first of all, we have to give our input a and b size 3, because here are 3-bit number size, and our input c d e f g h to 4-bit, because there are 4-bit number size. Now we have to give to our size to our output, which is w, x, y, and z. So you can see after it we have to perform all our operations which are given in our lab 5. So you can see if a is logical inequality to b, then our function will true or false. So we have to know what our function perform, true or false. And in other cases we have also proved that check logical inequality, logical equality when unknown appears, means when there is one variable in both of function which is unknown. And after it we have to also to check case equality when unknown appears, means there is one variable in both of cases. Let's suppose in G there is one variable which is x unknown, and there is h function in variable x. So now this is our RTL viewer. You can see our all functions are performed, case equality, inequality, logical inequality, and logical inequality. So now we move toward our output waveform, which tells us our function is true or not. So now you can see this is our waveform. You can see if a is logical inequality to b, then our function will true. If a is logical and equality, in previous case we check logical inequality, and in other case we check logical equality, then our function will true. And in third case we have to check logical equality when unknown appears, means if there is one unknown in E or F, then we have to check logical equality of function y. So when there is unknown appears, then our logical inequality will unknown, because there is our one unknown variable in our function. So in last and case which is z, so if we have to check case equality when unknown appears, means if there is any unknown variable between g or h, then Z will check our case equality. So we have to check case equality, then we can see on our output waveform, then Z will also unknown appears in our 4 bits first most significant bit. Now you can see there is one unknown appears in output case also. So we can easily check by inputting our required inputs, and we can get our required outputs by putting it in. So this is our all equality operators. So now we are going to discuss our bitwise operators. So you can see here the key symbols of our all bitwise operators. So the bitwise operators are negation. So you can see this is our negation key symbol, and or XNOR and XOR. This is our XOR symbol, and this is all our XNOR symbols. So bitwise operators perform by corresponding bit operation on both operands. If one operand is shorter, it is bit extended to the left with zeros. So you can see this is our Quartus code, which I can perform by our given exercise. So we have to perform all our exercises which are given in lab 5 by our Quartus code. So this is our final Quartus code which I performed in Quartus. So first of all, we have to declare all the inputs and outputs as it is in previous cases, and then we have to give all the inputs different sizes. In A we give the size 2 bit, and in B and C we give the size 4 bits, and in D and E, in D we give the size 4 bit, and in E we give the size to 2 bit. So if we are talking about output, then first of all we have to give the size X, which is 2 bit, and Y and Z, which is 4 bit. And now after assigning all the conditions, we have to perform bitwise negation, which will evaluates to this bit, which is 0010, and bitwise XOR operation and bitwise OR operation. So by performing and by inputting on our output waveform, we get all our possible and required outputs. So this is our, first of all, this is our RTL view of this performing circuit. This is performed by me, and in output waveform, now you can see in output waveform, if we perform negation of A, then the function evaluates to 0011. If we here performed operation XOR, then it evaluates to 4 bit 0110. If we perform the operation OR, then it evaluates to 1111. So now you can see in our output, if here we operate the operation negation A, first of all we have to give the A input, which is 1 bit 01. So our negation will performed, and our output will 10, which is in reverse of it. And in other XOR gate, we performed all our inputs, and then we get our output 1000, which is of 4 bit. And in this example we get 4 bit of our operator. So in our last case, which is bitwise OR operation, after performing and after giving it input to D and D, we get the output on Z, which is evaluates to 4 bit operator, which is 1111. And now you can see as it is in our waveform, which is 1111. So if there will be unknown appears, then our output will becomes unknown. If there will be appear any of function in X, then our output will also appear in X bit form, which is unknown. Now we are moving toward our reduction operator. So these are our symbols, key symbols for our reduction operator, which are AND, negation of AND, OR, negation of OR, XOR, XNOR, and both cases of XNOR. So the reduction operators are here, right? So we can read it. The reduction operators are AND, NAND, OR, NOR, XOR, XNOR, etc. So they take one operand and perform a bit by next bit operation, starting with the 2 leftmost bits, giving a 4 bit result. So we have to perform an exercise which is given in our lab 5. So for that performing exercise, first of all we have to perform a input code in Quartus. So this is our input code in Quartus which I performed. So first of all we have to declare all the outputs and input in previous cases as well, and after giving size to input and after giving size to output we have to perform all the assigning operations, which is that D and to A bitwise AND operation performs and it evaluates to a number and 4-bit number, and after it we have to perform bitwise OR operation which evaluates to a number which is true or false, means 0 or 1, and after it we have to perform XOR operation bitwise, then it also evaluates to a number true or false. We have to find all its numbers. Now after performing code in our Quartus, we can check this is our RTL viewer. So after it we are moving towards our output waveform. So this is our output waveform. Now you can see if D bitwise AND to A, then function evaluates to B00, means function evaluates to 00. Here you can see function evaluates to D B00, 2-bit 00, which we have to show in our code. And if bitwise OR operation will perform, then our function will becomes 4-bit 1, means 0001. And if last operation, which is F operation, performed, which is of bitwise OR, then our function will perform 0001. So in both cases, in last, our function output form will become 0001. So now we are moving towards our shift operators. First of all, we have to check the node which is right in it. The bitwise XOR and XNOR are useful in generating parity checks. We can also see these bits are useful in generating parity checks, which we performed in our Lex labs. So please note carefully the differences in logical bitwise and reduction operators. The symbols of for bitwise reduction overlap, but the number of operands is different in those cases. So you can see the key symbols of bitwise and reduction overlaps, means they are somehow equal. So we have to check all these symbols, and after it we can see, but the number of operands is different in all the cases. We can see operators overlap, operators can overlap, but the number of operands is different in those cases. So now we are moving towards our shift operators. So you can see this is our key symbol of our shift operators. So the shift operators are shift left and shift right. So this operator is used to move our function to shift left or shift right. So these are our symbols for shift operators. The shift operator takes a vector and a number indicating the shift. The empty bits caused by a shift are filled with zeros. See examples in below. So now we can prove this, and by using these shift operators we have to prove our exercises which are given in our lab 5. So now we are moving towards our Quartus code. So this is Quartus code which are performed by us. So now you can see, first of all we have to declare all the inputs and outputs, our A, B, C and D. Now after giving size to our inputs and output, it's like an array size which we are given in C++ and C, etc. So here also it appears we have to perform a bit size to input and output, which is 4. So after giving size to it, we are going to apply our all conditions. So you can see in first operations, if A equality to B shift left to 1, then our shift left by 1. If A equality B greater than, means double greater than, means B double shift right by 1, then our function will assign shift right, and after it we have to end the module. So now this is our RTL viewer for equal 1 and equal 0. You can see, and now we have to check our output by output waveform. So this is our code. So if we have to check if B is shift left by 1 and if B is shift right by 1, then output will what? So we have to move on our output waveform. Now you can see here, if A is shift left by 1, then our function will 0 bit of 4. If operation B is shift right by 1, then our function will D is 0 0 1, means its function will true and a 4 bit number of 1. So this is all our bitwise operators. We can perform it and check it by our output waveform in quarters. So now we are moving towards our concatenation. So there are just two symbols for concatenations. You can see here, which are used in our mathematics, etc., in sets, etc. So the concatenation of operator appends size, nets, registered, bit select, bit part select, and constant. It is used majorly for the selection of our objects and our functions. So first of all, we have to check our code and how it perform it. We can show you. So this is our code. First of all, in catenation module, we have to declare all the inputs and outputs, and after giving size to our input and output, and then we have to assign these operations with the help of concatenation. So if A comma B enclosed in concatenation, then it produces a 3-bit number like 100, and if C, which is of size 8-bit, to A enclosed in a catenation, then it produces a 4-bit number, which is 1011. And after it we have to end the module because we have to check both conditions. Now you can see the result is true or not by our waveform output. Now you can see here, this is our RTL viewer. When function is 10, then it will becomes 3-bit number, and when function is of 4050, and then it will give us 4-bit number. So now we are moving towards our output waveform. You can see here, if our first condition is true, which is this, if A and B are enclosed in concatenation, then it produces a 3-bit number. Now you can see here, if A and B are closed in concatenation, then it produces a 3-bit number. So here you can see, if 1 and 00 are enclosed in concatenation, then it will produce a number of 3-bit, which is 100. If 4-bit, if you can see here, if 5 and 3 means 8-bit number and A are enclosed in concatenation, then it produces a 4-bit number like 10, 11, 111, etc. So now you can see here, if these A and C are concatenation enclosed, so our output will becomes in a size of 4-bit, which is 1011. So both conditions are fulfilled by our code. So now you can check and you can prove all other operations which do you want in our labs, in our other things. So now we are moving towards our last operations, which is replication. Replication can be used alongside concatenation to repeat a number as many times as specified. So replication is used by concatenation to repeat a number, because in concatenation we cannot repeat a number, so we use here that replication to repeat a number many times as is specified. So we can check it by performing one of our exercise. Now you can see this is our code which are performed by us. In replication, here we also have to declare all our inputs and outputs, and after giving size to our input and output, and in the one another thing is that we have to declare here the size of wire which is used here of 4-bit, which is C. Now you can see, if we perform here C operations means for concatenation A, then the function will repeat 4 times. If we here perform 1, then the function will repeat 1 times. So this operation and this wire operation will tells us the number of repetition and number of replication by in using concatenation. So concatenation uses this replication process to repeat many times a number. as specified. So this is our RTL viewer, which shows us the number repetition. And now we are moving towards our output waveform. So you can see, if I'm getting 1 on input A, and then on input 0 1, then our outputs will become 4 bits, because in concatenation symbol we use here replication of 4, then our 4 bit size number appears. And in other D symbol, here we operation 3, which is our 8 bit size number will appears. So now you can see here 0 0 0 1 1 1 1 1 0 1. So this is our operation performs, and our application performed, and the number is performed many times as specified by our method. So this is all our operators which I performed in lab 5, and hope you can easily understand it. So that's all from my side. Jazakallah.